Sandra, yeah. Thank you. One of my clients made it for me. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love it. So I have to get, what I'm going to ask you to do, if you don't mind, with your salads and your food is if maybe you just slide it under your chair, because we're actually going to start with a little movement. And then please eat it while I'm talking. I'm just going to talk to the front about the music. Okay, we're ready for our music. Thank you, Maestro. And so I'm going to invite you to stand up. Oh, I got to get my computer. I'm going to invite you to stand up and just play with me for a little while. Huh? Yeah, it's not the one we've been using, and there's a reason for this. It's a different one. We'll hear it in a second. Just give yourself a little bit of space and notice that this song has drums in it. And when you hear drums in your body, you get a feeling. There's a feeling in your body, right? So see if you can find that feeling. And we are going to move together. So if you would just kind of feel your feet on the ground. And I want you to really focus on your left foot, okay? And move your ankle so that you feel bone on bone with your ankle. Feel that foot. And then, hey, Tanya, and then feel your knee. Bounce up and down on that knee on your left leg. And tighten the muscles in your hip and feel your hip. I want you to imagine that you're opening the sole of your foot. Just play with me if it seems weird. Opening the sole of your foot and creating a line of energy down that left leg. Mother Earth right up into your hip. So much so that as you're seated in that leg, you might notice you don't even need your right leg on the ground. It's not because you're balanced, it's because you're seated in that leg. Bring your mind in your leg. Our mind is out here all day, bring it into that leg. And then we're going to shift to the right leg. Feel your right foot on the ground. Open the sole of your right foot. Move your ankle, bone on bone a little. Feel that ankle. And bounce up and down on the knee. Tighten all the muscles around the hip and feel yourself in that hip. Good. So much so that you're seated, you might be able to raise the left leg without any problem. If not, that's okay. But you'll notice you really get seated. Okay. We're going to squeeze the abs and the shoulder blades. Come into the body a little bit and start to roll the shoulders. Feel your shoulders squeezing in the back. Feel your abdominals, twisting the spine. Good, nice, nice. And now I want you to shake your arms. Feel your wrists and your fingers and just kind of shake. And still be bouncing on those knees because it feels good, right? All right, now we're going to reach up and down. Up and down. We're going to go a little fast. Up and down. Think of it as dropping in. You're dropping into your body. It might even feel good to close your eyes and drop into your body. Good. Now let your arms hang. And I want you to just wiggle, be like rubber. Just move like rubber. Don't worry about what you look like. It's not about looking cool. You can close your eyes, then nobody can see you. Just like rubber. Awesome. Now inhale the arms back up. Take a deep breath in. And ha. You can have a seat. And just, I want to keep dancing. I'd be good with keep dancing. So just notice, I just want you to notice how you feel in your body. Just notice. You probably feel different, maybe a little more alive, maybe a little more awake. So this work, energy work, I'm Jen. I know most of you. I'm Jen. Energy work is about embodiment. It is about us living in our body instead of just living in our mind, okay? we have two main systems that run our body. We have the energetic and the master energy system that we're gonna talk about both today, but we have two main systems, the master energy system and the nervous system. And the master energy system created the nervous system when you were in utero. The master energy system is really what it's all about. My certifications are in studying the master energy system, or we call that bioenergetics, okay? Bioenergetics, it sounds really, but it's just the biology. It's the energy of your biology. The energy of your body is what we're studying, okay? And the chakra system, does everybody know about your chakras? Is anyone unfamiliar with chakras? The chakra system used to be this woo-woo ancient tradition stuff from Eastern worlds, but we now know, and science knows, that the chakra system is the master energy system. Science has shown that and has proven that. It really is becoming the connection of science and spirituality, because in that Eastern tradition, those ancient traditions, they think of that more as spirituality. So what I want you to know is that we are sensory beings. We are so much more sensory, 1,000 times more sensory than we are motor. And as sensory beings, we are here on the planet to feel. We're made to be able to feel. Our body is made to be able to feel. We have a mind, but we're really here to be feeling. Not feeling like the emotions, okay? Not emotional, but actually physically feeling in the body. Our mind, though, is constantly focused on our beliefs. Think about where your mind is all day, right? Your mind is trying to maintain, sustain, and defend your beliefs all of the time. And every person is doing that. So our answer is to shift from thinking to feeling. The feeling tone in the body receives billions of bits of information every millisecond. So we are a filtering system for energy. Billions of bits of information are constantly bombarding our body, and our body knows how to accept that information through this master system and decipher it and use it. Our mind has the ability to take in about 10 bits of information, 10 billions. That's crazy, right? The feeling body has lots of wisdom. The mind, not so much. The body's got it going on. The mind, not so much. The body thinks life is good. The mind, not so much. Exactly. Yes, it's such a Debbie Downer. Exactly. So this work is about tethering your mind to your body and starting to live in here, guys. We really don't live in our bodies. The mind, we have a mind, but we're not the mind. The work is about learning you're more than the mind, and your energy is really your essential self. It is really who you are. In science and in energy, we call it the essential self. In the spiritual world, they would call it your soul, your soulful self. It's really who you are. And science and spirituality are now realizing that they're on the same page. It's happening. You may not see it in your world, but it is happening out there. I see it. The essential self is always sending messages to our body. It's always talking to us and sending messages, but the mind's not listening. So I like to equate it as the mind is like a ceiling fan that's going really fast, right? So here's your ceiling fan mind. It's thinking, it's got its beliefs, it's got its worries, it's got its stories. And your essential self is down here in the body. And it's this beautiful, soft alpha-like frequency, like the earth. And this essential self is constantly trying to rise through your body. But when it gets to the ceiling fan, it just bumps and goes back down. It just bumps to the mind and goes back down. It never fully gets to awaken and be a part of how you live your life from that essential self instead of from the mind. The reason is we just don't have the circuits to perceive our essential self. We haven't been taught it. It's not part of our Western world. It hasn't been until now. It's becoming bigger and bigger. You hear about energy medicine and energy healing. Our mind just hasn't been perceiving our essential self. And so this is about training the mind to start to perceive it. As we perceive the energy of this essential self, an immediate byproduct of that is that healing happens. As soon as we start to connect to that essential self, find and feel that energy moving through our body, the first thing is healing happens. Because we are, this is my bioenergetic picture. So this is your master system, right? If you guys have been to me for a session, you've seen this in my office back there in my room. So this is your chakra system that runs right through you. And energy is flowing in from above your head. We are connected to the cosmos. We are connected to whatever you want to call it, right? The universe, God is flowing through this system. It hits the earth at where it becomes that beautiful alpha frequency. That's what the frequency of the earth is. And then it rises back up through our body and it cycles around. And this cycling keeps happening. So it cycles and more pours in from above and hits the earth and comes up and it cycles. And we are learning in energy work, what I'm empowering you to do with energy work is to begin to perceive that energy, excuse me, that's moving through you. Oh man, I got something in my throat. So don't have that, don't have that, Allison, on the recording. And what I love about this, oh yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. That's perfect. Thank you. What I love about this is this fountaining, and fountaining is the fountain of youth. When you connect to your energy and start really moving it and feeling it, and we're going to do a little bit of that today, you begin to turn back time in your body because you're rejuvenating, you're replenishing. More and more energy is coming in constantly to the body, and that's part of what activates the healing. But most of us look more like this, and that's okay because it's fixable. So these black lines are places you don't have circuitry. They're places that your mind isn't living fully in the body consciously, and you're not perceiving yourself living there. And when you don't have circuitry, what happens is you end up having pain. Let's say that right here at the shoulder level, you didn't have circuitry. So this energy is coming down through the body, but it has to move around. It's not going right through the chakra, the center of the chakra where it's most dense. So now it's moving over into the shoulder. And there's more energy or less energy. It's like a dam, you know, when you block the water. So now that energy starts to erode the muscles and the tissues, and then we have a physical ailment. Or even with our organs, any disease is dis-ease, right? Not having ease in the body. Any disease starts with an energetic component, starts because energy is not moving in the body the way it's meant to move. And so the beautiful thing is, because of that, any disease can be healed by starting to move energy through the body in a different way. So I'm going to teach you this breath. I want you to imagine this channel that runs all the way through from above your head, through the center of your brain, through your throat, through your heart, your solar plexus, your wisdom center, which is just below the belly button, through your rootedness. And you can see how this person has their legs together. And so you don't have to have your legs together, but to show you that it goes all the way through you and into the earth. And I want you to visualize this channel as beyond the body and on both ends. When you're sitting, you're going to just probably envision it coming from your tailbone through your chair and into the earth. Okay. We think, we're going to do it in a second, but I want to say this. We think that we're disconnected, that here and here, you know, we are this separate self walking through the world, not connected to each other and to the energy of the world. And so as a result, we have not nearly as much energy moving through us as we could if we would just open up and realize we are connected. The minute your mind starts to connect to that and perceive that, you start drawing more energy into your body. you start activating this because your mind works like a magnifying glass. You know how, and you ever as a kid take a magnifying glass in the summer with a leaf, you know, and you try to get it hot because the sun coming through the magnifying glass. Well, same thing is with your mind. Whatever your mind is focused on, there is much more power behind that focus. So if your mind is focused on your problems all day, all your energy, all your focus is going to your problems. If your mind is focused on your story or your whatever's going on, the things you want to change in your life, all of your energy is out there. The moment we bring our mind into our body, we start to magnify this master energy field and bring more and more energy into us. Okay?
It's interesting how the mind can pull you out of it, but yet also be the vehicle that pulls you.
Exactly. So we need our mind, right? We have to have a mind. We need our mind. The goal is to get the mind to start serving the soul or serving the essential self. That's the goal. The essential self is here to live a big, exciting life and be and do and have everything you want to have. And if it could just get the mind on board, that starts happening. And it does start happening because that's why I teach this now. That's why I became certified in this now, because it totally changed my life. And I'm the kind of person, if I find a great new mascara, I want to tell everybody about it, you know? So this changed my life. I want to tell everybody about it. So we're going to breathe through that central channel. So sit up tall. Bring your feet so that they're on the floor, just so your legs aren't crossed. And pull your shoulder blades kind of back and down. And just take a moment to visualize this channel that runs from above your head, and just make it up if you've never done this before. Your mind is so powerful, just making it up works. Goes from above your head right down through the center of you. Brain, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral area, tailbone. Imagine it going through the floor and into the earth. And you're going to just imagine, again, the imagination is so incredibly powerful. You're going to imagine taking a breath from above your head, and on the inhale, draw the energy down through the top of your head, through your brain, through your throat. Draw it right down into your heart and feel the heart open. And when you exhale, exhale down the channel and drop it into the earth. And then I want you to take a breath from the earth and breathe it up into the body. And on the exhale, when you can come to the heart again, on the exhale, send it up through the throat, through the head, out the top of the head, as far as you can authentically imagine sending that breath. You might even imagine it cycling around you as it does. That's kind of an advanced thing I do with people, but you might be able to feel that. Now, we're talking about circuitry. So what I want you to do is keep your eyes closed for a moment. And I want you to think about something that's not going well in your life. It can be a big thing. It can be a little thing. Relationship, job issue, finances, just something in your life that isn't going as well as you would like it to go. And when you think about it, I want you to notice if you feel anything in your body. Any kind of an activation. Maybe it's a tightening, maybe it's a sense of heaviness, maybe it's a sense of lightness. There's not a wrong answer. Is there anyone, just raise a hand if there's anyone who feels nothing. Beautiful. So the space where you feel something in your body, I want you to try to squeeze it on the inside, or think of it as hugging it on the inside. If it's your heart, you would pull your shoulders toward each other and you'll feel a little hugging of the heart. If it's more in the gut belly area, you'll kind of pull the belly button in and up so there's a little squeeze. Wherever that is, I want you to hold that squeeze. And even if it's hard to hold it, your intention is so powerful. If you imagine squeezing it on the inside, that's going to work. And holding that squeeze, now I want you to take a breath from above your head down into the squeeze. And when you exhale, send it down the channel and into the earth. Keep the squeeze. Take a breath from the earth up into the squeeze, wherever that is in the body. Hold it there for a moment and exhale up the channel and out the top of your head. We'll go one more time from above your head. Draw it down into the squeeze, hold it, squeeze it, exhale down into the earth. And then relax the squeeze. And for just a moment, think about that issue again that you're having some trouble with. And notice if there's any difference in what you feel in that place in your body. And then open your eyes. You need one of those mints, Teresa. Did you feel a difference after the squeeze? So the thing that's not going well in your life is a result of energy. Whatever's happening in your life is a result of energy flow. We're flowing into life, and life is happening through us, not to us. So when we find a space that we can feel a discomfort, that's your essential self trying to tell your mind, you don't have any circuitry here. If you could just get the circuitry going where you felt that squeeze, that thing in your life would start to go better. We are powerful creators, much more powerful than we realize. And it all starts with connecting to that energy within. Does that make sense? You guys have any questions about that? Okay, so now I'm going to show you as I turn in a circle. Now I'm going to show you my other poster. Can you guys see this? Let's move this out of the way. So now let's talk about the nervous system and how it gets in the way. Okay, so you have a conscious and a subconscious mind, right? Your subconscious mind, the responsibility of the subconscious mind is your survival. Its job is to protect you, okay? The subconscious mind runs the show in the body. It keeps everything moving physically in the body, like the lungs and the heart and everything. Your subconscious has a lot of power. It does most of the stuff down in here when it comes to energy from the mind. So conscious, subconscious mind. Between them is a communication system, okay? And the way it works is, if something stressful comes into your life, let's say a bear is chasing you, your conscious mind comes down here. Well, first it's sitting, wait, it doesn't come down here yet. Your conscious mind comes back here into memory and says, what do I do when a bear chases? Oh, run, right? So it tells the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind goes into emergency fight or flight. Get out of here, run, okay? Whatever's going on in your life that's stressful, it sends you into fight or flight. It gets your heart rate going. It gets the adrenals going. It gets everything going so that you can handle the stressful situation, right? When the bear is gone or the stressful situation has calmed, now the conscious mind goes back into memory and looks and says, oh, the bear's gone. What do? Oh, it tells the subconscious, shift back into healing, creativity, alpha frequency. Ah, everything's good. Okay. And this goes on in our life. That's the way it works. But if we have something very stressful in our life, or if we live in the Western culture where everything is stressful and everybody's always stressed, right? The nervous system crashes, and this trap door, this space between conscious and subconscious, slams shut because it can't handle it anymore. The heart rate and the adrenaline and the cortisol and all the things that are going on, it just goes, wah, and it slams the door. So now the stress is gone. The conscious mind goes back, okay, stress is gone, and it's trying to say to the subconscious, chill out, relax, move into that, alpha. But the trap door slammed shut, and the subconscious is still fighting and fighting and fighting, and it never gets the message. And so that's why so many people in our world are in constant state of stress. And we know that dis-ease in the body, dis-ease comes from too much stress, because all of the energy of your body that's supposed to be moving through and helping to heal and regenerate and recycle and All of that energy that's supposed to be moving like that is focused on this subconscious mind stress. The subconscious is using all of the energy to fight off the stress. Yep. Yep. And it exactly. And so this just keeps going and just keeps going. And then we don't heal. We get sick and we don't heal. And we think, why am I not healing? You're not healing because all your energy is fighting off the stress in your life. So when we breathe through our central channel, as we were just doing in that relaxed, easy way, you tell the subconscious mind and the trap door between the two to pop open. It begins slowly to pop open. This trap door pops open right when you're falling asleep. Right when you're in between sleep and wakefulness, it opens. Right when you're waking up in the morning, it's open. So those are 2 times, but we want it to be open all the time. So when you come to me, the people that here that have been for a BEST session, BEST is bioenergetic synchronization technique. And BEST is about opening the trap door. So what happens when the trap door shuts is not only is that subconscious fighting stress, it's fighting off unresolved emotion. So let's say that actually I had a client just recently. Her mother died unexpectedly. She had gone in for a surgery and she was not, I think she might have said maybe she was 80, but she wasn't ill. You know what I mean? She had a back issue and she had pain and she went in for a surgery and she ended up dying, and it was very unexpected. And this woman is distraught over losing her mother. And it was, I think she said it was in November when she died, but she said, I just cannot handle the grief. I don't know what to do. Her body feels terrible. She's not sleeping. Her mind is constantly fighting the stress of that. And so we worked on that. I work on, when I do BEST, I ask your body what emotions are stuck, and we worked on it. And she had emotion come up that was related to her mother dying. So what we do is we release that emotion, that all of that energy is fighting off and, you know, being wasted on. And she said she's going to come back. She felt a little better when she left. It's heartbreaking to deal with somebody like that because, you know, I was trying to console her, but that it's a very, difficult thing. And for me, I don't see death as terrible because I really do understand that we don't die, we live forever. We are just not in our body anymore. But we've had that conversation a little, and she knows that. She's had messages from her mom. But anything stressful like that, any big traumatic situation, you can believe you have much unresolved emotion that's stuck in your body. And so energy work is about opening the trap door, releasing that interference so that we can get back to the bioenergetic flow that's meant to be going so that health can be happening. This natural flow of energy is healing you. We're meant to be walking around in a healing state so that if something does come up, the body just knows how to heal it. So I want you to understand that the study of epigenetics, have you guys heard of epigenetics? And Dr. Bruce Lipton is a big one who really started that in the 60s. His colleagues laughed him out of his job. He went to Hawaii by himself and did research and studied and brought some of his college students down there to help him with his research because his colleagues said he was crazy. Epigenetics is the study that your environment in your body is what affects your cells much, much more than heredity, much, much more than your genetic inheritance. So let's say diabetes runs in your family and you have the gene for diabetes. It doesn't mean you're going to get diabetes. That gene can sit in your body, and if it doesn't get turned on, you'll never get diabetes. Epigenetics is about understanding that the environment of the cell is what decides if the cell is going to be healthy or unhealthy. And so it fits perfectly with bioenergetics because this is about a healthy environment. an environment that's moving, energy that's flowing. So we're in a state of healing all of the time. Western medicine has trained us to heal from the outside in, and energy medicine is really about healing from the inside out. And I have had personal clients, and in my group of best practitioners, there are hundreds and hundreds of cases of people healing from diabetes, from skin disorders, from chronic back pain, from cancer, from digestive issues, depression. There is nothing that cannot be healed from the inside out when we learn to really tune into that. And so I encourage you, I'm done. I think we have time. We do. Oh, we have plenty of time. I'm done early. We have plenty of time. I'm going to do the mortar march because I wanted to have time for questions. But I encourage you to breathe through the central channel. Just that is inviting the energy of the cosmos that you are connected to into your body. Every time that you breathe through there, you're replenishing, especially during the day. If you're at work and if you can stop and think, you don't have to go spend 20 minutes and do a meditation. Walking, I just think, oh, I'm breathing in from above my head. I'm exhaling into the earth. Exercising, I go to Orange Theory and I was doing that this morning. Oh, am I allowed to say that at Thrive? I was doing that this morning and I was on the treadmill. On the treadmill, I'm breathing from beyond my body into it and exhaling down. And when I start to feel like, oh my God, this is killing me, I breathe even more and get that energy going. And it really helps me to get through the workout. So there's a lot of good benefit to that. So since I didn't talk as long as I thought I was going to talk, I'm going to teach you how to do a self-administered best treatment. So when you come and see me in my office, you lay on a table and I move your feet and I ask the body and it opens the trap door and we clear these emotions. And you always leave feeling a little clearer, a little lighter, most people a little happier. And so there's a way that you can treat yourself. There's a way that you can do a mini best treatment that causes your trap door to open and it balances your nervous system. So we want to bring the nervous system into balance as often as possible. The balancing that opens the trap door and that tells the body, oh yeah, I live in here and all is well. So I'm going to do it with you now. And we have a card we're going to give you when you leave that has the directions so you can do it on your own. But you have to stand up to do it. So it's called the Mortar March. Dr. Mortar, so my certifications are with Dr. Sue Mortar. She wrote the energy codes and she owns the Mortar Institute. She started the Mortar Institute in Indiana. Her book is in the lobby. My certifications are with her, and this work, this studying of bioenergetics was her father's work that she grew up in. And so there's a mortar march, and then she changed it and shifted a little and calls it the empower step. And I really like the word empower step. It'll say mortar march on your card, but eventually I'm going to get that switched. MT mortar. TER. He is deceased, but if you YouTube him, there's some videos of him talking and teaching. Yeah, he was a neat guy. Sue Mortar never took an antibiotic in her life. She healed her scoliosis with energy medicine. She's healed broken bones with energy medicine. I'll tell you, I don't take like any antibiotics anymore either, or like prescription medicines. And I have in the past had gotten chronic UTIs, and I've been playing with energy medicine, and I can get a UTI and I can heal it with my breath. And so it's pretty cool. It doesn't take long. I can feel it when it's coming on. I know exactly what to do to breathe through it, get that energy moving through. So yes. Yes. So Dr. Mortar, MT Mortar used to say a headache is not a deficiency of acetaminophen in the body. Right? That's pretty good. So yes. So pain is telling you, hey, listen to me. Pay attention. Exactly. I need some energy here. I need some circuitry. But it does take a little longer.
I'm finding all emotions are, hey, what's up?
Exactly. Yes. It's getting the mind to listen. All right, I'm going to turn this way so we're the same. So the way you do this is you step forward with your right foot and back with your left, and you're going to bend your right knee slightly. I want you to feel your feet on the ground, just like when we were dancing in the beginning. Feel that grounded, seated in your body feeling. And this is contralateral, so it's all about left and right and getting all parts of our nervous system involved. The left arm is going to come up at a 45-degree angle, and the right arm is going to come back at a 45-degree angle. You're going to look at your left thumb by tilting your head back and shifting your ear slightly towards your shoulder. The next step is to close your right eye. If this is hard, some people can't do this, you'll bring your right hand over your right eye. Now, I want you to take a breath, and if you can, imagine it from the earth coming up into your body. And I want you to hold that breath as long as you can hold it. While you're holding it, think about something positive, something powerful, something that feels good in the body, feels good in life. And when you can't hold the breath anymore, exhale it up and out the top of your head. And then we'll release and step into it on the other side. Left foot forward, right foot back. Bend that left knee slightly. Feel your feet on the ground. Become seated in the body. Right arm up, left arm back. Just relax your shoulders down and back. Sometimes they creep up near your ears. Send your head back and your right ear to your right shoulder and close your left eye. This time, take a breath from the cosmos, from above you. Breathe it down into the body, into the belly. Hold your breath as long as you can and think about something that feels good, even if it's a dream or a goal that you just know is going to happen. Hold it in your body. And when you can't hold it anymore, exhale it down and into the earth. And then we'll step out. And you can sit, but I want to tell you about the subconscious and the breath. Oh, thank you. So the holding of your breath is a really important part of that, because when you hold your breath, your subconscious mind, remember, its biggest concern, most important concern is your survival. So when you're holding your breath, your subconscious mind is wondering, are you going to take another breath? Right? And so it on its own, it takes some of those subconscious emotions and interferences and things that we haven't been able to let go. And it says, we got to let this go because it's taking up too much energy and we have to save the energy for your next breath. Okay, so the holding of the breath is important. Just as long, I always say, hold it. And then when you think you can't hold it anymore, like, wait, one more second, and then let it go. And doesn't that feel good? Didn't that feel good to do that? I start my morning with the march every morning, and I don't get stressed, but if I did get stressed, I would do it then too. I'm not kidding. I really don't. I know the feeling of it because there was a time in my life when I did get stressed, but nothing really stresses me out anymore. But so if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's a really good thing to do. Go into the restroom at work or, whatever. I had a cute young client that she was a waitress a couple of years back, and she was really anxious. Anxiety was a big issue for her. And she said, Jen, it started out that when I was anxious at work, I would go into the bathroom, and she was real petite. So I'm sure she could do this, and nobody, if I did it in the stall, they'd be like, what's going on? But she said, no, I went in the bathroom and did it, and it felt really good. She said, then it got to the point where I didn't care. I'd be right at the waitress stand and I'd be going like this. And they're like, Charlotte, what are you doing? She's like, just give me a minute. And she'd get herself back together. So I encourage you to try that. All right.
You get things as you ready to get.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. It's funny because to prepare for tonight, I was listening to some of my Dr. Mortar stuff, and I was like, oh, I never heard that way before, and I've heard her for hundreds of hours. So yeah, absolutely. So do you guys have any questions? So that's a good question. We were just talking about that in the break room actually yesterday, because when here with therapy or for sports medicine, they're going to always have you inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. It's most important that you always inhale through the nose. But in this work, what we have learned from Dr. Mortar is get to a point where you can inhale, exhale, nose. Even I've been practicing it with my exercise, and it's hard to do that with exercise, but it's a little bit more powerful when you can stay inhale, exhale, nose. The book Breath, have you seen that book that's been on the bestseller, James Nestor? They have that here as well. It's such an interesting book about the science behind our breath, and that the way he explains it is, as babies, we are meant to be breastfed. And so if you're breastfed, you have to breathe in and out of your nose. But because especially in our culture, that hasn't been a big thing, a lot of people don't breathe in and out of their nose, and they've never been trained to. He talks about how our teeth and needing braces and so many things that go wrong in the body come from mouth breathing. And he suggests that you and I've done this, that you tape your mouth shut at night. So not like, not like wrap it with. So I have these little tape strips. A friend of mine bought them on Amazon. They're actually made for your mouth, but we cut them smaller, and you put a little piece of tape right here. And I tried it with my husband, and he didn't snore. And I did it for a few nights in a row. And then it felt like I'd almost trained myself that I didn't need the tape anymore because I was nose breathing. So if you're interested in breath, that book is really outstanding. Nestor, James Nestor. I think it might be TOR, but it's yellow and it's on the shelf. You could even take a picture of it if you want. Amazon, but you also could, you wouldn't want to use, like Scotch tape wouldn't feel good, but
Strips are for sure, because I actually do a routine at night when I do travel, different air pressures. I don't do well in certain states, and so I actually have a particular cloth that I use. So I do
okay. I didn't, yeah,
they don't
work. I didn't buy them, but my friend bought them on Amazon. I bet if you just Googled it on Amazon. But I was going to say they're very similar to the feeling of a cloth Band-Aid.
Yeah,
you know?
So they're called tape strips.
I'm not sure. She just gave me some of them. But if you Googled that on, put a search, not Googled, put a search on Amazon, you'll find them. Yeah, like mouth tape. You even might find them related to James Nestor's book, because it's a big part of his book. I'm sorry that I don't know the name. So you just put it this way. Yep. So it doesn't feel like you don't feel like you're going to be strangled or, it's very comfortable. Yeah, I was surprised. And my husband did not snore, and it will definitely help with that. You'll have a better sleep if you breathe in and out of your nose. So just practicing that, throughout the day, but always in through your nose, because your nose is made to filter all the stuff that we don't want to get into our body. That's why we have a nose. Yeah, it is. It's cool, isn't it? The body's so amazing. It really is. And that's what I love about this and the science behind it. We have so much power when we really tune in to our body and quiet this ceiling fan. Amen. Did you find it? So the ones she bought are they're actually a rectangle. I don't know how they're made to use. We cut them. So you could take one and we just cut a piece, but it's like a cloth Band-Aid. So, she gave me she bought a box of them. And I've got enough to last me a year. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. No more questions? Yeah. Yeah. My family has my husband and my immediate family knows, but most of my family has no idea of really what I even do. And today I kept it kind of light, you know, if you've been to see me and heard me talk about some of this, or Jen has taken my classes, and we go much deeper into the spiritual aspect of this, because we really are spirit in the body. And it's hard for me to, you know, cut that out because it's who we are. But when you're just explaining it, it is energy medicine, but I don't like to call myself an energy healer, because we're all healers, right? So the best way to start is just that we're all energy. We know, science knows that we are all energy. Everything's energy. The chair you're sitting on is energy. In between us, the space between us, there are particles of energy. And so that's science, right? That we are energetic beings. And so when energy's flowing through our body optimally, we feel better, we're healthier, life is easier. And so this work is about learning to move that energy through your body. Like, to me, I feel like that's the base layer and the easiest way to explain it. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And you'll see, though, that there's a lot out there, you know, like if all the work of Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden, and there are so many of these big. Sue Morter's not quite as well known as some of them, and I don't know why, if she came up after them, or, you know, she's becoming more and more well known, but there are so many of them, and there's so many books, and there's so many YouTube videos, and, you know, it really is out there if you're looking for it. Of course, law of attraction, that's my life, so I see it all the time, you know. But sometimes you're better off finding like a simple YouTube video and saying to your family, well, watch this, you know. Well, all of the work, Greg Braden and Joe and Sue, it's built on ancient tradition. It is the way of being human on planet Earth. But we as Western society just didn't know it. We moved and created our own great way to heal. Yeah. Yes. So let's talk about that. Yeah. So let's talk. That's perfect. That's a great question. So whatever's going on outside of you is a reflection of what's going on in here, right? So if you feel triggered, take it to the body. The first thing I did with you was think about something in your life, right, that isn't going well, and take it to the body and feel where you feel it. And where you feel it in your body, squeeze and breathe. My husband and I, it's a perfect example. He's into this work. He understands it. He's kind of following along with me, you know, thinks it's great that I'm doing this and understands it to some degree. Sometimes I'll walk into the house and I can feel his energy. Like, you know, I can feel he's not like, actually last night he was doing something on the computer and it was bugging him. And he was like saying stuff under his breath. And well, that starts to affect me, right? I allow it to affect me. But the moment that happens, I take it to my body. I don't go to him and try to fix anything going on with him, because that's useless. I take it to my body and I think, where am I feeling that? And I squeeze and I breathe. And I have changed situations in my household with my son, with my husband, changed it. It seems woo-woo, like, because the whole energy of the house has changed by me finding the place in my body, squeezing and breathing and building the circuitry. Because a person who's here is masterful of their energy and affects everyone around them. Okay. This person has the wobble. And so I'm not going to let that affect this. This person is going to affect this first before that ever happens. If you both have a wobble, one of the wobbles is going to affect the other wobble, right? People ask me all the time about being empathic, where they'll say, well, I'm an empath. I take on everybody's stuff. Well, yeah, not if you're like that, you don't. If you're like that, everybody's stuff is there, but you don't take it on. So if you're an empath, you need to find where you're feeling it in your body, because you're an empath, because we are sensory beings. We are thousands times more sensory than motor. And we just don't know what to do with it. We haven't been taught that we're supposed to be living in here and not in here. right? We need our mind, but our body is, and that's why even that beginning thing, just going like this and like, yeah, I realized after I started doing this work why I love dancing so much, you know? Yes, it gets you in your body, it gets the energy moving. It's really powerful. It's certainly a good thing to do with your kids at school. Yeah, you're welcome. Any more questions? Hey, Jason, how are you? All right. Well, I thank you for coming very much, and please eat some food. What's up? I'm sorry.